What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon. It is the 15th of December, at least on the charts. We're about 3.5 hours into the new day. This is the BCH BTC chart. We'll talk about BCH USD in a second, but I want to just go over some stuff on the BCH BTC chart here. Looking at the daily time frame, this daily RSI overall, it's very, very volatile, right? Absolutely it is. But also overall, you're getting these higher lows kind of coming in, and you are getting these higher highs coming in. It is bullishly trending overall to some degree, right? Definitely if you had like a line of best fit for the tops and the bottoms, you'd have bullish sloped trends going both ways there. So I do believe, just with that kind of notion, that we are at the bottom of this trend, and likely we will start to resume our way higher, right? Our path higher, gaining value versus Bitcoin. Beyond the RSI, beyond the daily RSI there, if we look at the price versus Bitcoin from a low to a high, you can see that we're actually at the golden ratio, the 618. It is an area that we found support at before a few times. So that's nice to see there. On a daily perspective on the RSI, if we were to have today versus Bitcoin close green, which we're only down 0.8% versus Bitcoin, so I think that's very doable. If we could close today above green on the RSI, we would be bouncing right off of this level here. We'd be bouncing right off, oh no, sorry, it'd be a little bit lower. Where would you be? You'd be right there, right, like something like right there. Right there, and that's literally at the 40, right at the 40. So if we have a green day today, we're bouncing off the 40. The last time we bounced off the 40 was right there, right? I mean, look at what it did for us, right? It was phenomenal. So bouncing off the green line, the 123 moving average here, bouncing off of the 40 on the RSI if we get a green day today, and you're having a kind of from this pullback. It might be more obvious if we look at the 4-hour time frame. You're having a double bottom here on the 4-hour. At the 618, the golden ratio. You're having a pullback right, like literally that's where you're double bottoming right here. It's beautiful. Okay. You look at the 4-hour RSI. We'll delete that white line there. You've got bullish divergence. You've got lower lows, and on a closing basis, they're very much, it's technically a higher low, yes, but on a closing basis, lower lows, and that's what the RSI is based off of, bullish divergence, to end your potential downtrend here on the 4-hour basis. And it makes sense that you would, because your RSI here is on the precipice of breaking its 4-hour downtrend as well, with this bullish divergence in mind. So I think Bitcoin Cash, starting today, you guys, is beginning its move. It's beginning its move right now to new session highs, prices that are above $1,000. I think it starts now, right? From this point out to the end of the year. It might not be fireworks every day, 50% candles every day. It might not even be like 15, 20% candles every day, but I think it's going to be a lot more green and a lot less stagnant from here on out through the rest of the month, right? And here we are about halfway through December, literally halfway through December right now. So it makes sense that we'd be coming upon these times. And I mean this, the way that the 4-hour looks, the way that the daily looks versus Bitcoin here, I see it gaining value basically now, unless today closes red. If today closes red, it's not bad. It's still not bad, but it just throws off this ideal bounce off the 40. We still have higher lows. I guess it wouldn't really even throw things off that bad if it was to close red today. We just don't want to get too much lower than these lows, right? We want to hold this 40 area in the RSI. We want that 618 bounce from this relative fib here from the low to high, and not just the 618 bounce, but the double bottom kind of look there with the bullish divergence on the 4. We want all that to happen. We don't want to have a red day and keep going down, right? We want to break this trend, all those things. So it'd be nice if we did get today green. If we get today to close green, I think it would be more of a positive signal versus Bitcoin, and probably versus the US dollar, that we're going to see some growth commencing for Bitcoin Cash. So I wanted to get that out of the way. Let's look at the weekly time frame before we move on. Right, and I pointed this out last time for anybody who might be scared. I was kind of scared with this, right? This bearish engulfing candle with Bitcoin Cash. But then I looked back in time and I saw, oh, we had a bearish engulfing candle here, and then we ripped. Okay. Oh, we had a bearish engulfing candle there, and then we ripped. Okay, that's So Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin. We get volatile sometimes. It happens, right? You get these very like bearish engulfing dump looking candles right before you kind of reverse. And same thing to the other effect, right? You get these very bullish candles right before we're about to reverse as well. So it's just volatile. That's just the name of the game between these two. Let's look at BCH USD though. Looking at it on a weekly. Oh, wait, actually, hold on real quick. I wanted to look at the RSI too. I think the RSI looks fine. Oh, the RSI, you guys, looks really nice on the BCH BTC chart. Maybe I shouldn't say it looks really nice. It looks interesting. It looks interesting, I should say, because maybe not that line. Would it be back here? Kind of. It, you know what I mean? Like you can kind of see this, right? What I'm going for. Like it's kind of holding this trend. It slipped out of it once here, whatever. But then also with these highs here, this is what I was really looking at. I think you're going to pick a direction, right? And I think hopefully you pick to the upside. But this move up could, if we start seeing some weekly growth versus Bitcoin, that could break this downtrend that we've had since July 2023 on the RSI. And that would definitely be some bullish stuff as well, right? That would probably, I mean, once we break above this RSI trend line, that would give the signal to me that we are going to break above these highs. So definitely exciting stuff to look forward to in the future. I'll keep monitoring this. I'll keep you guys posted on this. Mr. Hat, if you're watching this, or Smooth, or anybody who's a Dragon Rider in the house, keep me posted on this too, man. Keep your eyes on this. If we break this, I want to be aware of that. Because I really do think that'll be a powerful signal in itself as well. I would assume we'll probably break that if we get a week to close above here. That's kind of my thoughts. If we get a week to close, and that's nice too, because we're closing above the 123 weekly moving average. Bullish things can come from that as well. So anyways, and really, I do mean bullish things can come from that, because if we look, Bitcoin Cash, you guys, this is a long forgotten fact about the BCH BTC chart, but this is the only time in Bitcoin Cash's history versus Bitcoin that we've been above the 123 moving average. Every other time, and I mean, it didn't exist back here, but I mean, if we could continue to draw this line back, not that this is actually how it works, right? Because how do you know what direction it takes? But I would think it's safe to assume that we were probably well below this line, even going back in time. It's not really fair of me to say, because you just can't do that, right? But anyways, first time we got above the line, we're living above it, we're crowding, we're not just rejecting and going down, right? So big things going on here. I definitely expect that as this was a primary or a prime rejection area last cycle, I think breaking above this line and moving away from it and turning it bullish, instead of having the line slope down, breaking above it and then having the line slope upwards is going to be bullish. It's all going to be good things, you guys. So let's move on now finally to the BCH USD chart and finish this up. Here we are, from our recent high to our recent low that we had here. We went all the way up. I would say on a weekly perspective, it looks like we tore right through our golden ratio, right through the 161 or the 61869 area. Hit the 886, perfect kind of maneuver there. Tipped the 618 for support. Now we're ready to go, you guys. Now we are on our way. I have the utmost confidence, and I want to go back in time here a little bit. I have the utmost confidence that Bitcoin Cash, with this low at 485, that was the low, right? And we called that. We were calling for that up here. Like we are all pretty well prepared for this move. The only thing that I would say has been inconsistent over the past 4 days is just the expectation that we are going to move up. It's just, when is it going to happen? Is it going to happen today? There's a lot of things in the charts that would suggest that it happens either today or very soon, like within the next 48 hours. And if it doesn't, when I say it, I mean this next move up. If it doesn't happen today, I very much would expect by the end of the week, we're above these highs, you guys. So here we are at $530. The call, here's the call, is that we've gone from the 886 down to the 69. We're ready. We've had our correction. We're ready. Lower lows in the RSI, higher lows in the price action. We found support on the golden ratio. We're ready, you guys. We're ready. We're going to move up. By the end of this week, we'll be above this high. By the end of this week, I think we will be potentially above $700 even. And truthfully, by the end of this week, we will have commenced, or I should say resumed, because we've already commenced our move, but resumed our move up to $936 and beyond, right? And beyond. I feel like that target is different than it was before, but whatever. 936, 1308, that's the primary expected zone. We are dealing with it seems to me like a very bullish move here. So it's completely possible that we could bypass the primary zone and go straight to the secondary zone. We'll see how that goes. If we were to see the secondary zone, I would expect it to come in January, not December. But you never know, man. Crazy things can happen. Bitcoin Cash is not afraid to move fast in a very, very short amount of time. So I think the next phase up starts now. It's going to start now. I think today is going to be a bullish day. I think next week is going to be a bullish week. And we're probably going to see a bit. I would think that next week closes, dude, like just above this high, but I think we might have a greater than 20% week next week is kind of my expectation. I got the fibs on here again. Yeah. All right, guys. I think I'll end it there. I don't have anything else I want to say. Daily RSI looks bullish. Higher lows, higher highs, bullish. 4 hours looking promising. The weekly is bullish as well. It would just be nice if we could get the weekly to break this kind of downtrend. Or wait, no, sorry, that was the weekly on the BCH BTC chart. It would be nice if we could break this downtrend too, but like how much higher can you go? You know what I mean? But that's not bearish divergence for anybody who's wondering. That's actually that's not bearish divergence right there, because you have a high here and a lower high, so that's a high and a lower high. It's not bearish divergence. And actually, I think it's probably good that we had this red week, because if we kept going, if we kept going right here this week and we closed up here, we would have bearish divergence. And not saying that would prevent us from going higher, but we just might be a little bit hot on the RSI. If we started to consolidate at that point, it might not be such a good look. So closing this week red like this, and even like below the overbought zone like this, is pretty nice, right? I think that cools us off a little bit, and it gives us a lot more room to run up. And I do think we will see readings above this reading here. I think that we'll probably see readings even up into the 90s or higher. We might get, if things are going the way that I expect them to, you guys, this reading here on the weekly RSI would be the strongest readings that we've seen all cycle, right? All cycle, potentially, actually, literally your whole life. That's a bold call, you guys. I'm going to make the bold call right now. I think Bitcoin Cash is on its way over the next 3-week period. Maybe I should say over the next month and a half period. It could be by the end of the month, but I think the move's going to end in January. Whatever, within the next 3 weeks to like 7 weeks, maybe. We're going to see the highest readings on the weekly RSI that we've ever seen before. That's the bold call. If that doesn't seem like a bold call, I don't know what else. I don't know what is a bold call to you, man, because that's pretty crazy. Seeing the highest readings, the strongest readings we've ever seen, and with that idea of seeing the strongest readings we've ever seen, we just might see the strongest move we've ever seen. So whenever I say that I'm expecting the primary area, $936 and $1,300 to be by the end of December, and then the secondary area to be by the end of January. But then I also throw in the notion that we could be in this secondary area by the end of December. We could, it would just have to move up faster. Whenever I say those things, it's not so impossible whenever you consider that we probably are on our way to the strongest readings that we've ever seen on a weekly perspective in the RSI for Bitcoin Cash in its entire history. And with that, I leave you. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you guys very much. I didn't know this. I've done all my research on Bitcoin Cash, and I was today years old whenever I put the pieces together and figured out that Bitcoin Cash has never seen a 90 read on its weekly RSI. Ever. We're going to change that. We're going to do a couple of firsts this cycle, you guys. You can just see it, right? You can see it. Right, here's your first bull cycle, here is your last bull cycle, here's your third bull cycle, right? You can see just the difference, the amount of time that you spent below the 50 this cycle versus the amount of time that you spent below the 50 last cycle. And I'm trying not to get the bear cycle right, because that was like after this high, that was the bear cycle. But the bull cycle started like all the way back in here, right? Like you spent a lot of time beneath that 50 there, and that was the ass end of the bull cycle there, so it's not really a lot of iterations or evidence to go off of there. But all I'm trying to say is it seems like we've got a lot more prominent readings in the overbought zone on the weekly RSI than we have any other cycle. We've already seen the strongest readings we've ever seen. I think that it doesn't stop there. I think that we will break that 90 barrier this cycle. I'm excited, and that's why I can't stop talking about it. So I'm going to end the video there, guys. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't. Bye-bye. Thank you.